Peace, family. Peace to everybody in the chat. Me and an echo. You hear echo on your end, Dr. B?
Nope, no echo here.
All right, it'll go away. Peace to everybody in the chat. Let me know if y'all hear echo. It might just be my headset. But we are now back and we are live. Thank you for your patience as usual. We about to get started. As usual, you know I'm gonna get to a couple of ads, and you're in for a hell of a show, family. So get comfortable, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Black Magic is live with Doctor B Sirius, and we will be right back, family. Hold up. Be right back.
Hey there! Had a bad dream? I have dreams too. Some parts are scary and some parts are fun. Always remind yourself, it's only a dream and everything will be okay. I had a dream about being in a forest too. Check it out, my pet Petey was with me. Order your copy of Kayla Petey and the Forest on Amazon today.
Hey family, it's King Simon, the founder of Numerovation. Remember, if you want to book a session with me and get a Numerovation consultation, all you have to do is text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. And if you want any of my books, go to linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. That's King Simon the Numerovator. And your books are available on Amazon. Remember, I'm the El Numero Uno, the Numerovator himself. And if you want to book a session, all you have to do is text me. Make sure you get my books on Amazon. I love you. Peace.
All right, Dr. B. Let the people know why are you in the dark, my brother? What's going on? Oh, it froze. Oh man.
Hear me? You there?
Doc, yeah, I hear you now, Doc.
You there?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
You hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Exactly 15 minutes before the show started, the whole neighborhood's grid went down. No electricity, nowhere. It's blue black outside. It's dark, and luckily I had my backup computer fully charged. You got to be ready. See, if you stay ready, you'll be ready, right?
Right.
So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
coming to you now through my laptop. I got candles around me, man, and it's when you're moving towards a very special goal, you will be challenged.
Yeah.
You see, this is all part of that ascension process too. When you're talking about raising energy, well, guess what? That opposite energy is working against you. So you got to be ready and have tools and have things ready. And next time, I need to get some battery powered lights. You see, because everything here was running off the grid, but we're going to have an interesting evening because
No,
it started off interesting already.
definitely. Let me just pin this link real quick. Family, we're about to get started. I just want to pin the link for y'all at the top. I gotta go on my phone to do that. All right. Dr. B. First of all, so family, for those of you who were on the show last week, we're gearing up. We made the big announcement of the Blueprint for GodPower Part 2 workshop. And Dr. B is going to be talking somewhat about that tonight with this mind alters. I believe that is probably the most important concept that I feel that is necessary for people to understand, grasp, and conceptualize right now. And Dr. B knows an exact science behind it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight and at the workshop. Also, I want to let the people know last night, Dr. Wesley Muhammad had to postpone. So I will probably have him on next week. Dr. Wesley Muhammad was going to do a show about the whole marijuana conspiracy thing and the legalization and the estrogen and all that stuff that things is happening. People's mental illness is rising, and a lot of it is connected to that shit we got on the streets that we call marijuana, that we think is marijuana, but it's not the same marijuana that was in the 70s and the 60s that Rick James was talking about with Rick Jane. I mean, Mary Jane. No, this is a whole different marijuana. So I want to stay tuned next week for that one. That's going to be a good one. Dr. B, I want to start out this touch my heart. I got a testimony. I got several testimonials. I got one yesterday. I read one yesterday that really touched my heart. And I said, when Dr. B come on, I want to read it to the brother. So family, this testimonial, we got the Blueprint for God Part 2 workshop happening October 29th, I believe. And people started buying tickets already. I advise all y'all to get your tickets as soon as possible. And this sister gave a testimonial. we got something called the sacred prayers that we send out to people within 24 hours of getting their ticket. And it's awesome. And I want to show you something. So this sister has came on the show plenty of times asking questions when I do a Q&A. Her name is Ascendant Infinite Goddess. Shout out to you, sister. I'm sure you're watching. She says, greetings, Brother Rich. I had to carve the time out of my day to write this email. I know how warming confirmation can be for those who experience the manifestation of your gifts, and I want to share my initial reaction to these beautiful, harmonious, symphonic prayers you shared. I've been feeling like I need to release some energy through crying for months, and nothing was allowing them to come. When I saw Billy get emotional, I thought that was it. But it wasn't until Queen of Fools started reading from one of favorite books, Sacred Woman, that I was able to release a steady flow of warm, salty tears that opened me to hear and receive the beautiful words of Sister Myra. Both days I had my 1-year-old with me who sat in his high chair eating fruit and watched silently the whole time, except for when he chuckled at Uncle Hank rising. I had my 15-year-old nonverbal autistic son who sat glued to the couch watching the graphics. By the way, I mirrored it to my 60-inch TV, and the quality was still crisp. Thank you for loving us and giving so much to our community. Speaking to you, goddess to God. One love, Chanel, Ascending Infinite Goddess. That touched my heart, Uncle B. Uncle B. I'm thinking about Uncle Hank. Dr. B.
I like that, Uncle B. I like that, Uncle B.
That touched my heart right there, Dr. B. That touched my heart, man. And I want to give a shout out to that sister and thank you for the support. And I'm glad that you was able to release. We have stored trauma. You talked about that, Dr. B. Records amount of people are finally releasing the trauma due to the words of you and the other master teachers, and it's beautiful. Yeah, what you think about that testimonial, man? It make me want to cry.
It's powerful because when you release tears, you're breaking off dendrites. See, your tissues are holding on to your issues. Your ideas, a lot of it, are held into your organs, in your body. The subconscious is also called the body mind or the kinetic mind. It's in your body. It's not in your head. So those old memories are held in those tissues. And then you have these little nerve endings that look like tree branches called dendrites. They go from the main nerve axiom. They actually branch out and touch onto the tissue, which is vibrating with the issue or the idea. So when you cry, you're letting go you're breaking off of the issue around the tissue. Mm-hmm. So those little pieces that are breaking off are called dendrites. And then when they measure tears, when they take tears and put them under the microscope, they see them. So sometimes we've been holding on to ancient tears. Mm. The tears of our grandparents. The tears aren't always for something disagreeable. They could be for something good. Mm. But it's a release. It's a letting go. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are saying, ever since the first GodPower, they've been releasing tears. Men, women, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has, who's called in has always said, well, I'm still crying. Why am I crying? That's because there's a lot that we haven't released, a lot that we've been holding on to that's being broken off right now. So when you hear testimonies like this, you're going to keep hearing them because we're breaking up issues that have been held in people for a very long time by, giving out the tools that can help you release so that you can move forward. Because a lot of us are living in the past, not because we desire to, just because that's the way we were programmed and that's the way we live. And once you begin to let go of that stuff, it's almost like composting, taking the old fruit peelings and vegetable peelings and letting them go. You see? So there's tears for joy, there's tears for love, but then there's also tears that just need to be let go. That you're tearing up the tears or letting go of the tears of your grandparents and your grandfathers and the grandmother medicine. All those things are in tears. Tears are magical things.
Indeed. Yeah, Len said I've meditated to the sacred prayers the last 2 days and I've had emotional leeches each day. Yeah, I mean, how important is Dr. B? Can we gain new insights, new information, new downloads with this stored trauma in ourselves, or is it completely necessary for us to release it before we could fully tap into who we are? Can they coexist at the same time in our body?
Well, they are. This is the issue. So it's like having one foot on the gas to move you forward
1 foot on the brake.
and another foot on the brake, or driving forward in your automobile looking in the rear view mirror most of the time.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of folks have been trained to do. We're in the now, we're in the car, we're moving forward, but we keep talking about what had happened, looking in that rear view mirror. Well, if you stay focused on that rear view mirror, you're going to have an accident moving forward. You're going to hit something. So for most of us, it is all existing at one time. But it is the process of choosing, the process of discernment, and the process of moving out of where you were, and those bonds sometimes from the past. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to get rid of this stuff. It's not like you're just going to forget whatever happened, good, bad, or indifferent. But what it is you'd like to be able to put it in compartments and be able to control the outcome or the outburst or the hold or the magnetic, what they call in the quantum field, the gluon state, the magnetic field that's holding those issues to you. So most of us are existing with all of it in it at one time. And that's when, when you start becoming the commander, you become the CEO and the captain, then you can begin to look at which things, right, you need to keep, which things you need to let go. And that also ties into another thing we're going to talk about, which is the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system.
Oh, yeah. So let's get started with this talk. Oh, and by the way, real quick before we start, somebody said, where are the sacred prayers? They're part of the Blueprint for GodPower Part 2 workshop. It's a workshop with Billy and Doctah B, and it's 8 hours long. And I wanted to give the people some bonus content. So I put together like a mini short mini documentary. It's like about 40 minutes long, and it's called 7 Sacred Prayers. And it's some of our master teachers give an insight about how conversations with your higher self or God looks like. And it deals with a lot of emotional intelligence, and it releases a lot of trauma in your body. And I have many testimonials to show it, and the whole chat will tell you about it just from a preview they see. And I'll show a preview later, but I want to get started with the show right now. And the link for the workshop is at the top of the chat, but I want to get started with this talk. I believe this is extremely important. You're going to go in depth on the science of it in the workshop. It's called Mind Alters. And me and you had a thorough conversation on the phone. And one thing in this reality, Doctah B, the concept when they say in the Bible, be in this world, but not of it. The fact that I live by that, and that's the top of the list, that has allowed me to be so successful navigating in the world. It has allowed me to be successful in my relationships. And most importantly, it has allowed me to be successful with myself and my own soul and my own being. So I feel as though, but you can only follow that rule if you understand this concept subconsciously or consciously of mind alters. So could you give the people an idea of what you're going to talk about with this idea of mind alters so the people can understand what that means?
And before I even get into that, let's say really quickly, if you see that I go offline for a minute, that means that my electricity may have come back on and my modem may be kicking in. So it may take me a minute or two for everything to come back live. Okay. So if that happens, it's because, our electricity is off here at the altar. So let's first talk about the mind. The mind is not the brain. The mind is your will. Your mind is what's coming to you from the universe. Okay. It's part of we're connected to what they call the universal mind. You know what I'm saying? And everyone is connected to that. We're all connected to the Akasha, the universal mind, that space that exists everywhere and that is in everything. Now, our individual minds, right, has to do with our will, what we desire, what we're moving towards, what we think about mostly. That is the mind. That's our personal mind. You see, that mind, right, is where you're moving. If you focus on something, your mind's job is to tell the brain what it is we're focusing on and create the chemical electrical responses to move our body towards that goal. So your mind, right, is listening to you. It's listening to your residual thoughts. Residual thoughts are old thoughts from the past. It's listening to your conscious ideas in this particular moment. What are you thinking about in this moment? What are you pondering on? So your mind, having your mind in the right place or focused on the right ideas or ideals is extremely important. So if you think about the word altar, an altar is usually a table. It's a place where it's a table or a raised structure where you place your sacrifices or your offerings, like incense burned in worship, often used figuratively to describe a thing given great undue precedence or value, especially at the cost of something. So, church, to talk about the altar. This is a table where you're offering things, gifts for the ancestors, for the angels, for God, whatever you believe. Many people have an altar in their house. It's a space, a raised table or an area or a corner where you have sacred ideas, sacred things, sacred symbols. But usually there's always fire, or there is incense, which is basically fire and earth, on that altar. Why? Number one, the concept is that fire and smoke or vapor can move between dimensions. Because they are here, they are also there on the other side. Fire, smoke, vapor can move between dimensions. So if you have things on your altar and you have the fire is traveling from where you are to the place that's the unknown. That's the metaverse. That's the when we talk about metaphysics, we talk about the unknown, the mystical world, the world we can't really see, but it's there. So there's, we know that there's 11 dimensions. Actually, ancient people would say that there's 144 dimensions. It depends on how you count them. But these are other rooms or other spaces where our ancestors, our ideas, right, about the other worlds, this is where they're at. There's more than just you. You live in several dimensions. So sometimes you're using your altar to tap into not just quote unquote ancestors, you're tapping into the other you.
There you go. Yeah.
Calling yourself, because you're in the other dimension too. For you to be alive, you must also be dead. For there to be an up, there must also be a down, all happening at the same time. All things are connected to their opposite. So this is the whole thing about the cat. Was the cat dead or is the cat alive? This is quantum physics. You know what I'm saying? Is the particle a wave, or is it a particle or a wave? It's duality. It's happening all at one time. Depending on your focus, it depends on what you're looking at, what you're moving towards, or what you believe. That's a huge one. What you believe. It's pretty hot up in here without a fan, but it's all right. This is a hot topic. I don't want to go any further before, we make sure that we got this right, Brother Rich. This piece, before we go to the next piece, let's be clear about this thing about the altar and what the altar is symbolically and energetically able to do. Do we have a clear understanding, Brother Rich? Brother Rich, are you there? Brother Rich is not there. I guess I'll keep going. So,
no, I'm here, Dr. B. I had it on mute so they won't hear echo on mine.
Okay. So do we have a clear understanding or overstanding and understanding of an altar?
Yes, sir.
So check this out. An altar, they say, is a table or a high place. That's your head is also an altar. On the temple. Your temple is right here. That's your temple, the sides of your head, what they point to right here, called the temple. The altar is in the temple at the seat, which is your pineal. You put things on the altar to send a message or to give homage or to give love or to show reverence to beings or things or something or someone outside in the other dimensions. Your pineal gland inside your head, inside the cave, the dark cave. That's another name for the skull, is the cave. It's a dark place where you go to what? To transcend. What happens? The caterpillar, it must go into the chrysalis. That's a dark cave, no light in the chrysalis. And that's when it transforms from a caterpillar into a butterfly based on the imaginal cells. The imaginal cells are cells that are programmed with a certain imagination or a certain idea or a certain outcome or with a certain blueprint for the GodPower that was already present in the caterpillar, but the caterpillar's got to go through a what? A transmutation before it can become that butterfly. And there's a time period because the cocoon is like an altar. That's where it changes. Now, if you listen to the word altar, it is also phonetically a lot like altar. Altar. But what is an altar? Alter is something that creates change. This is when you alter something, you change this thing. Alter is a lot like altar. We're talking about alchemical change here.
It's deep, my brother. I ain't think about that before.
You think your subconscious knows that, there's alter, ALTER, and that's different than ATTAR. It doesn't. So when you're talking about altering something, you're also talking about putting it in a place, in a high place in your mind where you can focus on what you would like to create. That's an altar. You don't have to have an altar. You are the altar. And you're always altering and altering everything. Let's go a little deeper than this.
Come on, Doctor B. Come on. Come on, Doctor. Come on.
You are the church. You are the temple. You are the mosque. You are the ashram. These other things are symbols.
Yes, sir.
Cut open a piece of wood. I'm there. Break open a stone. I'm there. This is one of the things from the Bible, about, I guess it's God or Jesus or whoever they're talking about, says basically, I'm not in that place of church and of mortar and stone. I'm not there. Just how you wanted it, sure. Basically, I am in you. So the building is just a symbol for you. The building is a symbol for you. The temple is in your head. Now, I'm gonna hit on a couple other things, and I'm gonna talk about how we're going to get to this and the tools we're going to give you at the workshop.
Yes.
The elements that you put on an altar are earth, wind, water, and fire. So some people have a little glass, right? They got their water there. You know what I'm saying? The wind is in the air. That's or their breath. The earth is the incense. It's the stones. And sometimes the little stones that you burn the incense on. And you got fire. You usually have fire on your altar. Some sort of candle. We'll get to that. That's getting deep too. We'll get that later.
You going there too? Oh shit. Candle. Okay. All right, Doc. Go ahead. Okay.
Actually, it's cotondel. Cotondel. So we English, we just smooth things over. It doesn't candle. Ka. CA is also KA.
Yeah.
Which is what? Spirit. N is going to be water. D, 4, that's a foundation. D is a foundation. Pregnant with what? Possibility. And LEL, right, is the highness, the most high. Which back in the old days, I think that was the, don't quote me, I think it's the Hebrews who say that El was God, which was Saturn, the highness, with the rings. Lord of the Rings. Anyway, something that we put a lot on that altar is incense. Now, when you get the real incense, you get away from the incense stick, don't you? You get to the little pieces of resin.
Mm-hmm.
Those are called tar. Did you know that one of the first, how should I say, spoken names of God is tar? T-A-R, the blackness, the triple black, tar.
Tar. You going there tonight, y'all. You know, I don't mean to cut you off. The background is perfect for you tonight, Doc. The blackness, with the subject, this was meant to be, Doc. But go ahead. I'm sorry. This was meant to be.
I didn't think about that, but I guess that's what's happening. It's a lot been happening here in the last 3 weeks or so.
Yes.
Ever since the 7 sacred prayers, everything has shifted in my personal life. Let's keep going.
Yes, Billy's. It's wow.
It's deep, deep, deep.
Wow.
So they had a god named Atar. A-T-T-A-R. Atar. A black female goddess connected to Venus. Of course, they changed her color a little later on to fit the scenario of the new people. But she's also known as Astar, Ashtar, or just Tar. Tar. Think about the name Star. You know, stars are black. You know that, right?
Well, they don't look black from where you know, down here.
Because you're looking at the corona.
Mm.
You're looking at the glow.
Mm.
You get you a good camera, them old analog cameras, and take a picture of the sun. Right at the right angle is black. It's a black ball.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At the root of light is black.
Mm.
All black comes from darkness. All life, all light, all vibrations comes from the blackness, which is the triple blackness, which is the dark essence of the universe, is feminine. 99.9% of the universe is feminine. You only need 1%, between 1 and 10% to be masculine to make this whole thing work.
Mm.
We think the men is the masculine that makes it go around. No, without the feminine, you don't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You just be sitting around with your light pole at night. You can't strike nothing. you feel what I'm saying? You need the magnetic energy to actually be able to make that life come to light.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, something weird's popping up on my screen. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
So Atar is the black female goddess by many names. Because back in the old days, what you call paganism was when God was a woman and the women were the closest to God, the woman, or they were aspects or rays of light coming from the woman, the dark matter, the dark universe that was opening up itself to create more and all these what we call angles of light, because we're just angles of light coming from darkness. Somebody got you afraid of the dark. All the bad things happen in the dark. Make sure you turn on your lights and lock your doors at night. You better lock your door. When you go to your mailbox, you better be careful because what they robbing you. You know, I called the phone company. I said, what is these? I got 4 surcharges. What is the surcharge, sir? Well, that's a surcharge is a charge that they charge because it's being charged. No, well, what is it? Well, it's a charge on your bill. Well, what's it for? Well, it's a surcharge. Can you read it right there? It says surcharge. I said, no, sir. I need a better explanation of what a surcharge is, sir. Well, sir, we can't tell you what it is. Well, you are you work in the department that's supposed to be able to talk to folks. You customer relations. I need to relate with somebody. I need to know what the hell the surcharge is and why is it 4 of them, sir? Then I figured out later. So yes, surcharge. They done charged me taxes. I'm paying for the hearing impaired, the seeing impaired. I'm even paying for the thinking impaired, right? They'll talk about that. We'll talk about that another time. The thinking impaired. See, because you think you got it all together, but you know, let me leave that alone. What I'm saying is that you're being ripped off every single day. If you want to have a telephone, you're going to pay some charges. You don't know what they're for. That's crime. But you know, you got it. That's gangster. If you want it, either you want it or you don't. You see what I'm saying? So they tell you you're going to get ripped off and robbed at night. No, some of the deepest stuff is going on under the light of day. The darkness is the safest place. The darkness is where everything comes from. That is in the cave. The darkness of your head is the cave. And I'm going to show you something here. We're going to get a great analogy about how powerful the darkness is, right? And we're going to get back to Tar and Astar, and that's going to take us to this altar. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
In order for the seed to germinate, it must be put in the soil in darkness. Now, you could put some seeds on the counter and sprout them if you want, because you want some sprouted sunflower seeds or some sprouted watermelon seeds. They're only going to last a couple days, maybe a couple hours. But they're not going to really grow a whole plant because you didn't put them in the ground. Mm-hmm. So they didn't go through the right energy. You know, they got to go through a type of struggle breaking through the soil before you can become a strong plant. Mm-hmm. You must go through a certain struggle to break through from darkness into light. Huh? What must happen in order for the sperm to hit that egg or find that egg? Must be totally dark. Can't have no LED lights, no fluorescence. It don't work. Mm-hmm. Even them test tube babies, they had to have them in pure darkness. Dark is where everything comes from. We go to the Bible. A lot of folks like to refer to the Bible every once in a while because, as you know, Brother Rich, the Bible tells the truth. And as the Bible says, it says that a homeboy was on a boat fishing. What's his name? Wasn't Jonah? Was it Jonah? Jonah was on the boat fishing. And God came to him and told him he had some deeds for him to do. Jonah said, no, I like hanging with the homies. They got some weed they bringing out here later on. We're going to fish all night. I'm changing the story. You don't think they were smoking hemp? What you call them? The sails and everything was made out of hemp. The rope was made out of hemp. You think they just threw the flowers away? This is a sacred plant. Cannabis. You was talking about that a little earlier. We'll get to that another day. Anyway, what happens? Homeboy don't want to listen to God, so the ship goes through a storm, the ship capsizes, and he ends up in the belly of a whale, a big black whale. He's in the darkness, and in the darkness, that's when he comes to light. When he goes through the struggle by himself inside the cave, he alters himself, he changes, he goes through a transformation. Now he becomes a man, quote, quote, of God. Moses, where does he go to get the message from God? Where does he go to talk to God? He goes up on a mountain in a cave. That's where he went and got them commandments. Now, I know y'all don't know all the commandments because some of them broke and he got pissed and I don't know. I'm not telling you this is historical. I'm saying these are the stories. They're reaffirming this thing about the mind or the brain or the cave inside of us. That darkness is where everything gets generated, and that's where you create the altar space. Jesus the Christ. He's going through all these things until they put him on the cross. He dies. Where do they put him? In a dark cave. He can't resurrect until he dies. There'll be no resurrection without death, which is transformation. There'll be no resurrection without death and without going into the dark cave. And when they came the next day, the cave was open. He was gone. 3 days later, he's off fishing. See, these stories are analogies. It doesn't matter whether they really happen or not. It's whether you can use this. because there's no actual death. There's just transformation. You're moving from one dimension to the other. These are all stories about dimensional shifts. And in order to make that dimensional shift, you got to go into that darkness into yourself. And sometimes that darkness is what they call the shadow self. I know because a couple weeks ago, I had to go into that. Wasn't the night of what was they called? The night of the living moon. What do they call it, Brother Rich, when you're going through that hell?
I forgot the name, but I know what you're talking about.
You got to go into some deep stuff because I didn't know if I was going to be here. This is just a couple weeks ago because I was being challenged to grow to another level. I had to let go of something. So I had to go into a room. I was in a dark room in Brooklyn for 2 days. Couldn't leave. I was being transformed. I didn't know it at the time because a lot of times we don't know what these ascension symptoms are. It's just not always so easy. Oh my God, I'm having ascension symptoms. It's beautiful. Sometime you're going to kick your own ass. And notice how I said that. A part of you is going to kick your own ass because the saboteur is there to test you. The saboteur within you is that one that's going to test you to see if you're really ready to go to the next grade. So the cave represents the altar, the altar, the all black, the black space in your head in the temple. Are you following?
Oh yeah.
The thing we put on the best thing to put on your temple, if you're using incense, is the resins. This is a black pitch usually, or a viscous substance that comes from trees. Resin, gum, the pitch of certain kinds of trees. Why do we use the resin of trees on the altar? Because the tree holds the energy, because the trees are taller than us. The trees are like transponders or receivers, picking up information, sending and receiving information from the entire galaxy. That's what they do. That's why they say grab a tree. That's why they say walk with your shoes off on the earth. It's not just walking with your shoes off on the earth. When your shoes are on the earth, when your naked feet are on the earth, you're picking up the resonant frequency of all the minerals, the mycelium network, which is connected to the trees, which is taking your feet, your energy of your body, and transponding it to the trees and sending it straight out into the galaxy. You're actually in a state of prayer. When you're just putting your naked feet or your naked body or your arms on a tree or touching the earth with your hands, just even if it's in the garden, in God's den, the God's den, the God's den, it's all connected. You are in a very sacred space. So, the altar has a lot to do with your desires. So usually you got an altar. Who you talking to? You got symbols for different beings, you know what I'm saying? Different things. It means certain things to you based on what you believe in. We're not saying what you should believe in, but we're saying that you've got symbols there of what you'd like to give worship to, move towards, create. The lights are blinking. You see them in the back? Yeah, it's getting deep. That was a mess. I might have said something there. That was that, you know what I'm saying? That was that God power. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, mind altars is creating a sacred space in the cave, in the head, to move you towards your desired goal automatically. Past thought. This is not about thinking. This will happen automatically once you learn the technique of how to do this. And I will say this much. Did you know sitting around that fire, that campfire, or even just sitting around the fireplace, looking down at it, have you noticed that everybody's talking and having fun and having drinks, but there's these moments where everybody just gets silent?
Yes.
It happens almost every time. Because the heat, right? The heat from the fire is moving your body. That's kinesthetic. You're picking up the heat. Your hypothalamus gland, which is at the very top, the hypothalamus gland is there to balance whether we're in heat or cool. The hypothalamus gland also is the connector between your nervous system and your glandular system. Your glandular system is what creates hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers. Chemical messengers is you can move your hand because of the hormones, because of the messages that are moving right through those hormones. And your glandular system are like, computer systems throughout the body. There are many computers. Now, I said many, I mean lots of different computers. Also, they're small. So each one of your chakras is a computer system. It's a doorway. It's a window. It's a control access system. When you are focused on your desire clearly and you put it on the altar, your hypothalamus kicks in. Let me go back. Let me just back up. Your hypothalamus is regulating temperature as you look at the fire. The firelight is going in through your eyes. It's going in through your eyes into your optic nerve, and there's something that starts to happen that takes you into a theta state. The theta state is the state in between two places. Remember, the hypothalamus, it regulates two places. It regulates temperature. The hypothalamus works based on theta. Based on building or destroying or balancing or what they call tonifying, or adapting. The hypothalamus, the high, which is the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the pineal, and how they all work together. So it's not just about decalcifying your pineal. There's a few other things that we're going to tap into in GodPower, which helps to balance the three of these. You see? So, excellent. You had a question?
No, I was just saying excellent. That you're going to tap into that for the workshop. Excellent.
So, this piece has to do with what's happening during fire. When your eyes see fire. And a safe fire. It's not like the Canada's burning or something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's safe. It's in a safe place. So you feel okay. And it's warming you. It starts taking you into a zone, into a theta state. Just by sitting around the fire, you're in a very deep place. I don't know if you've ever been in a village or you've been in a ceremony or a ritual where they were playing drums and burning a fire. Something starts happening. Well, what we're going to talk about in GodPower this time is how to create a mind altar that uses the three glands in your head. It uses the idea of fire. It uses the idea of attar, an atari substance, and incense, and you are going to learn to use what's called the black flame technique. See, if you look at a candle, there's a part, or if you look at a fire, there's a place where the fire is black. Most people can't see it because their eyes are being directed to the bright side. They're looking at the light. But there is a place where the flame begins, which is black. When we get into the blackness, the attar, when we get into the darkness, and you're able to do certain meditations in darkness or create a dark place, right? D-arc. A dark place is the arc. That's how you move through the universe in arcs. And the only way you can move through the universe is to realize that you've got to arc your way through the omniverse. Mm. And dark, the D has got to do, once again, as I said earlier, that's foundation. A, B, C, D. That's the fourth letter. That's foundation. Mm-hmm. You see, you can't have art, culture, and art and culture, and a foundation is what you need to become free. A lot of us talk about this free thing, but we're leaving aside the art and the cultural piece, which is important because a lot of us don't realize what is truly our culture. And a lot of things that we like are things that were given to us.
And real quick, Hollow, I agree with you. Dr. B, I heard of the violent flame with the candle, but this is something new. So I'm actually looking forward to this a lot for the workshop. Yeah, Hollow, I heard of a lot of things. I never heard of this black flame technique you talking about. So that's gonna be interesting, Doc. That's gonna be a good one.
See, I learned it when I was learning jazz, when I was studying jazz, when I was a young jazz musician, and the older griots, the older teachers,
Mm-hmm.
were teaching us how to get in this place called an idiom.
Right, 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 right,
An
right.
idiom is a dark place where whatever you would like to create exists. Now, this is in jazz because there's idioms in language, which are ways that people talk. These idioms are like areas or groups of things or ways that people do something in a in a certain place. This type of idiom is an idiom that you create in to get into true improvisation. Because originally jazz was improvisation. It wasn't like soft jazz, which was like, they're like jazzy R&B songs, you know what I'm saying, for the radio. True jazz, right, which is really not called jazz, but that's what they call it now, was improvisation. And the most powerful thing there is on the planet is improvisation. Not doing things the same way all the time. That's not true jazz. That's not true power. Even real deep love is improvisation. It's not the same thing. The say, "Oh, I love you too. We're going to make love on Thursday. Yes, we are. We're going to, that's all."
Doc, you breaking up, Doc. Come on, this too good. It's too good, Doc. Come on, family, let's do some magic. Get Doc back on here. Where Doc at, man? Uh, he said if we lose him for a second, then that might mean his light is coming back on. His lights is coming back on. Let's yeah, it's too good, right? Let's give Doc a second and let's see what happened. He's having an issue. For those of you wondering why he's in the dark, he's having an issue with his lights, but it turned out to be perfect because our conversation is about mind alters and this dark cave in our brain. Yeah, I think, yeah, give him about a couple of minutes. In the meantime, for those who came in late, some of you don't know, we got the workshop coming up October 29th. Billy Carson, Doctah B, Sirius, and this is what he's talking about today. He's going to explain the science behind this. So it's going to be, and he got a whole list of things he's talking about. But October 29th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. is going down, family. 8-hour workshop. Billy Carson, Doctah B, Sirius. The workshop also includes a lot of bonus content. So for those of you who didn't see last week, yeah, somebody said the 7 prayers. Let me show y'all a clip. So what we're doing, family. So the link to the workshop is at the pin at the top of the chat. I advise everybody to sign up for this workshop ASAP. What we've done special, unique, that nobody in the world is doing, black or white or whatever, we created a sacred prayer ceremony features some of the greatest master teachers that we have down here to inspire, to uplift, to help you release trauma. And everybody who's seen it, the sister just said 7 prayers also. I mean, people are crying, people are having breakthroughs. Billy had a major breakthrough in his relationship. Doctah B had a major breakthrough in his life. I had things happen to me. I'm talking about this prayer thing got to be the most magical thing on planet Earth right now. So I'm thankful. No, this somebody said, am I a member? No, it's not a discount because this is not just Billy's event. It's me and Doctah B as well. But this I think besides the workshop being absolutely brilliant, this prayer thing is probably the most magical thing to hit the planet in a long time. And people are comparing it to The Secret, and you know how big The Secret hit when it touched the ground. Let me give y'all just a little preview that I showed people last week. And everybody who signs up, the prayers are part of the workshop. You got it when you buy the workshop. The prayers are bonus content. We're gonna do a meditation album. Me, Doctah B, and Billy, we're working on a meditation album right now for bonus content. We got the 7 sacred prayers you get with the 24 hours of signing up. And Doctah B has a sound bath therapy session that he's going to get sent to the people also a week before the workshop. So, I mean, this workshop is loaded with goodies. I mean, there's nothing you could get for this price that's loaded like that. No, you can't order the 7 prayers separately. No. It's a part of the workshop. It was an inspiration from the workshop. So it's only provided, it's not for sale. It's strictly bonus content for those who believe in themselves enough to invest in the God Power Workshop Part 2. Let me show y'all a brief clip because this thing is, I mean, people are, y'all seen the testimony I showed earlier. People are having huge breakthroughs. Let's see. Let me see.
What's going on, loved one?
I want to get to Doctah B's part.
But I'm asking.
I am grateful for this ability. I allow myself to be my best. I allow my words to be clear. I allow myself to do my best. I allow myself to never assume and to not take things personal. I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all desirable things to be successful while helping others do the same. I'm going to say it again. I allow myself to be magnetic, attracting all desirable things to create health, wealth, and goodness, and help others do the same. I allow. I allow. I allow. I allow. I allow. I allow myself to be like a lighthouse, always shining, not waiting for boats to be.
Man, wow. I mean, Doctah B. So, for those of you asking in the chat, the link is pinned at the top. If you would like to purchase the blueprint for God Power 2 workshop, and like I said, the 7-second prayers is a part of that. It features Sister Myra, Professor Kaba, Billy Carson, Doctah B. Sirius, Loaded Lux is introducing everybody, Hank Rising Sun, Queen Afua. It's nothing like it on the planet right now. And it's only for those who get the workshop. For those who ask about why you got to spend money, you don't have to keep spending money. 95% of my content is free on YouTube. How dare you MFers complain about when I think this is my second workshop of the year, something like that. But 90 to 95% of my stuff is available for free on YouTube. Please don't cry when Brother Rich finally comes up with a creative idea that he wants to offer as a service. Every teacher that comes on my platform offers a service. Brother Rich is allowed to offer a service as well. So for those of you who are interested in being a part of this monumental, life-changing workshop, please sign up. Doctah B, his segment is absolutely explosive. I want to thank everybody who has signed up so far. It's beautiful, and I'm glad to have you back on here, Doctah B. Your sound went out, so I decided to show them a clip of your sacred prayer just to give them an idea. But go ahead, Doctah B. You are back, my brother.
And I'd like to say something about this.
Yes.
Money. You know, this whole thing of what we will invest in, what we'll spend, or what we'll move towards with money versus what we feel we should just get for free. The information, 2 pieces of information that I'm going to cover in the God Power 2 workshop, Blueprint for God Power, cost me about $10,000 to learn in classes and then sacred workshops. What I'm going to give, this piece that I'm going to offer, I had to invest $10,000 or more. And some of these other pieces, what we've done, whether it's Billy, whether it's Brother Rich, what we've gone through to learn these things, there is an investment. Why do we want to go downtown and we'll invest in a minute downtown? We'll go uptown and invest. We'll buy shoes. We'll buy sneakers. Right? Why do we?
The lights up.
The lights are on.
Talking about investing, and the lights came on. Hallelujah.
You see, why do we feel that we should, we shouldn't have to pay for information? I'm going to say part of it has got to do with the whole YouTube and the TikTok and all that. We feel like we can get everything for free now. You're not getting it for free. You're actually paying for that. You just don't know how you're paying for it. Mm-hmm. You have no idea that you're selling yourself to artificial intelligence.
You're the product. Yep.
You're the product. Yeah. You no longer do you need a website. You are the internet location. You see, they're cataloging everything and everybody. And that's okay if you know how to negotiate this thing and use your magic. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you know how to use your magnetic power, your magnetic God force, which is magnetic. But why is it the minute that we show up and we say, well, this is what it costs, this is what you have to invest, people get upset. How come it costs so much? How come it's this? You're actually getting it free. Because I don't know of anywhere where you could get the amount of information that you even got in GodPower 1 for free in one place without having this. You know how many books you'd have to read? You know how many books? This little book collection you see right here behind me is nothing. You know how many years and years we have studied to go through information? And like right now, you can look anything up on Google, but how do you know which one is right? Sometimes what you need is on page, down at the search page 25. And then who wrote that? And a lot of times we're not writing it. We're not creating Google. So they edit and they put together the words, the word language syntax that you feel, that's why that was deep right there. I learned a lot about the planet Sirius. You know nothing about the planet Sirius. In fact, most of what you've learned, right, throughout history or throughout your life is not even factual. So what you value sometimes, it becomes questionable where you put your value. Because I've seen some people say, well, Dr. B, why does it cost so much? Why are you charging this amount of money? But they'll go to somebody else who's got a big name and go down there and spend $3,500 for 2 days at the boot camp.
Seen it happen over and over.
$3,500 to go see blah blah blah. Yeah, but he's such and such. A lot of times, his skin is a little lighter than yours, and his sales techniques are a little heavy. So you feel that massa always has the answer. You always know. Well, Dr. B, where's this in any books? Some of what I'm teaching is not in any books. This black flame technique, you're not gonna find it anywhere in any book because they didn't write it. I learned this from real medicine men, from shaman. When we were studying jazz, this was about how to travel the universe, because in jazz, we're traveling the universe through what? Improvisation. We're doing things that have never been done before. That's real jazz. And jazz actually comes from love. Jazz, the word jazz means love or sex. Like the saxophone is both male and female. You're playing with yourself. So what we're offering here for whatever the investment it is very small compared to what you're going to get based on what it took us to put it together and to study years and years and years, just the black flame technique, just how to create a mind alter. The things that Billy's talking about, where are you going to get that? So if you feel you can spend time on YouTube or on TikTok or wherever else on the internet, go. But we need to support each other. We need to support each other. Anybody out there right now that's teaching something that's useful, that's actually a lot of times giving you the shortcut to something, invest in it. Because if you don't invest in anything, you don't really get much. Did you know that?
Indeed. Yeah, Doctor B, the serious people, they just want you to get back to the show. They like, man, F these. they're like,
I'm talking about the show. I'm talking about the show right now. I'm talking about what we're offering and what the value of it is if you understand improvisation. This is what I'm talking about, the jazz, the love. What you give, you get. What you receive, what you offer. It's about that exchange. You see what I'm saying? So when we decide and choose what we're going to put on that altar, what you choose to put on the altar, right? You're going to have to give something to get to this next level.
There you go.
And let me say this much.
There you go. You got to give something to get there.
If you don't invest, you're not going to get anything. There's short-term investments. There's long-term investments. What you're looking at, what you're listening to is an investment. You're spending time. You're donating. You're giving time to something. You're going through something to get there. Your eyes are extremely powerful. This is the two physical eyes. which is the only actual piece of the brain you can see. You know your eyes are brain material. Your eyes are the part of your brain you can see. During the black flame meditation, mind alter work, your eyes are going to have to be positioned in a certain place. Wherever your eyes are is like taking the mouse or controlling the mouse on your computer.
I love
your
this.
eyes are the mouse. If your eyes are looking up, down, left, right, all of that has to do with the outcome you're going to end up with. If you're talking about something you desire in the future, but you're looking to the left, you're leaning to the left, you are now in the past. Check this out. You're in the past talking about something you desire, but the gravity of the past has the brake. You got the brake on the automobile. And you're pushing down the gas talking about the future, but the brakes are on from the past. This is why the average person never gets there. Because they're divided. They're torn apart based on your eyes. You're going to learn about an eye technique. I don't know where you could get this. I don't know where you can learn about the black flame. These are sacred things that were taught to me personally. Some of them I have never shared.
Yo, family, Doctah B talked to me on the phone, and I knew some of this intuitively, but I have never heard nobody break down the science and technology of blinking. Do y'all hear me? I said the technology and science of blinking. This brother got some type of passed down intuitive knowledge that I ain't never heard nowhere. But intuitively, I was like, that makes sense. But the brother was breaking down to me on the phone. He's talking about in the workshop the technology of blinking. And it's dealing with frequency and channel surfing. Never heard this shit. Me and Doctah B was on the phone for like 3 hours. And I'm like, yo, you talking about what? Yo, Doc, I'm excited about your part, man. I'm excited about your part, man. Shit. Man,
I gotta take a little mushrooms now.
Yeah, take your time.
Did I ever send you your package? Didn't you say you needed some mushroom tonic? I don't think
I got it. I think when I came to your house for the Sirius Vibes interview, you gave me one then.
You okay though, right? You got enough?
Yeah.
Cause see, this is mycelium. See,
Right.
see, mycelium. The mycelium, right? The mycelium group helps you get there. This is why a lot of people who take the sacred mushrooms and have sacred journeys on some of these plant teachers, with these plant teachers, they talk about seeing things even with their eyes closed. See, there's different versions of seeing.
Right.
But your physical eyes, if you're looking towards an idea, and I'm just going to say this much. Let's say you got an idea. And you look at me, you say, Doctah B, man, I want to put out a record, man, and I want to blah, 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 blah. And you look at me and I'm staring at you, and then you blink. When you blink, you just turned it off. You just changed the channel. You just said, no, I'm not ready. I don't really believe in it. I got 1 foot on the brake and 1 foot on the gas.
Blinking
because
the channel.
You just changed the channel just by blinking.
Yo.
In the black flame technique, during music, they taught us how to play a rhythm on the drum until we didn't blink. If you blink, you got to stop and start over. This right here takes you out. This is like, folks always want to know. They said, but Doctah B, when you were in the music business, man, how did you pick all those artists? There's a lot of artists that, I was involved with that a lot of people don't know, that I helped to push, or I, had something to do with. I was picking artists out of a crowd. How did you do this, Doctah B? because I was learning these techniques that were taught to me by these elders before they left the planet. Most of them are gone. This was some stuff that was passed down. This didn't get passed down to Google. This didn't get passed down to Wikipedia. This didn't get passed down to TikTok. Some of this stuff only got passed down to me, just like there's certain things in certain technology that only got passed to you. But you may not have realized that that past was a path to your future. That was your Tao. But sometimes because you're sleeping, because you're blinking for way too long, because you're scared of who you could be and what you might do if you knew how to create magic, that scares you because they told you that was the devil.
Shit.
You know about the devil?
Devil.
I remember the preacher was up talking. He said, yes, and sometimes y'all got to understand that the devil is coming after you. I said, what the hell is the devil? I said, oh, wait a minute, that's dope. The devoid, the disagreeable, ill, sick side of you is the devil, it's the sickness in you. The devil. But sometimes people are afraid and they will limit themselves. And be strong with it. Oh man, I ain't going down there, man. I ain't doing that, man. Y'all in some kind of ritual, man. Y'all, they talking about doing some black flame. Is you crazy? Oh man, no. I'm gonna go, man. I gotta go get a drink, man, because y'all talking crazy. That's that devil talk. Because a lot of times what they call the devil talk, what they scared you out of, was the real deal. Mm-hmm. That's why the book, what's the name of it? The devil book. Come on, man. How come I'm always talking about it? Outwitting the devil.
Okay.
Man, that's a bad book right there.
Okay.
Whoo! Because the devil inside you is the one, right, that's causing you to blink and drift. Mm-hmm. If you could stay focused and not blink on an idea, mm-hmm, or say something to somebody and stare at them without blinking. I need $100,000. Don't blink. First, they're going to start looking away, and especially if you know which eye to look at, because there's also a certain eye that you need to focus on in a person, depending on who you're talking to. Depending on what hemisphere they people is from, there's a certain eye you need to focus on.
Where you learn that from, brother?
I learned it from, I studied for many years. And some of it is from neuro-linguistic programming. Some of it is from what they call psychological kinesiology. See, that's where I went to school, actually took the classes to learn. That's what my degree is in psychological kinesiology. It's not really a degree, it's a certificate. It's all the same thing, a degree, a certificate. It's a piece of paper that I took a certain amount of courses and I paid, invested to learn this because I knew that this was going to help free our people. Because we've been blinking. We're blinking all the time. Don't blink. They tell you don't blink back in the days. They punch you in the chest in the street. Man, don't blink, man. You strong. I'm going to hit you. I'm act like I'm going to slap you. Don't blink. We blink a lot of times. That means you pause. Oh, man, I got to think about it for a minute. Your gut tells you yes, but then you start thinking and your mind says no, so you don't do it. Mm-hmm. So when you're in when you're using these tools of ascension, which is what they are, you're going to get to this place where you're going to learn how to not blink. Then you're also going to learn a bit of personal kinesiology.
That's dope. That's dope.
I don't know where you're going to even find a class called personal kinesiology. And we're not talking about muscle, but lifting, exercising. That's kinesiology too. I'm talking about using muscle testing to get a yes or no from either the universe or your subconscious mind. A definite yes or no, whether you need to move forward, whether you need to leave it alone. Is it neutral? Is this medicine for me? Is this food for me? Half of you talking about, I'm a vegan because such and such. A lot of times vegans be sick. Meat eaters be sick too, because a lot of times you're not choosing the food that is right for your essence, never mind right for your blood type, right for your essential type, because you don't know the muscle testing to know whether it's good for you, whether it's nutritious for you. You don't know if the relationship you about to be in or the one you've been in is right for you. It may have been right for you in the beginning, but it may have passed its time. So with muscle testing, you can get a firm yes or no from either the universe, the cosmic mind, or your self mind. We're going to teach personal kinesiology in the class so that you can get a firm yes or no. You see, now this is all these little pieces are going to change you. You're going to graduate. You're going from high school to the university.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to do this. We have to do it. Because this is 2025 and going into 2024, the Schumann resonance of the planet, everything is speeding up. Atoms are speeding up. Things are happening much faster. That's why they're throwing so much mass distraction at you about who's a clone, who ain't. I'm going to tell you, it don't matter who's a clone. The question is, are you a clone?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Since you talking about clones, always pointing to, there's a clone. Half the people that's talking about clones have been cloned. No, they didn't clone me. You think you're not a clone, huh? Did you eat some Kellogg's cornflakes back in the days with niacin in it?
Mm.
Did you eat anything by Nabisco back in the day? You see that little symbol up in the Nabisco corner? Do you have any idea what that symbol is about? Did you eat the contents of that food growing up in America? Huh? Did you eat food cooked in soy oil? Or vegetable oil in a plastic bottle? Did you eat that? Were you fed that? Did you eat certain food growing up that programmed you, that had nanotechnology? They talk about nanotechnology is new. This is some old stuff. Sometimes you just can put energy on something. It's the same thing. Energy is spiritual nanotechnology. It's too small to see. What I'm saying is that we all, at a certain level, have been mentally, spiritually, and physically cloned. Or you've been programmed. But there's something happening right now that's never happened. Because we're in a new place in space, because the angle of the planet has changed, the helical angle that we're moving on has changed. This thing is wobbling in a different way. Everything is new. The sun is not the same. Y'all know that ain't the same sun. Have y'all noticed it?
Nah, it hit different. It definitely hit different.
You know that. You come on now, y'all. You just don't want to say nothing because your friends might think you crazy. Because they ain't gonna believe it because they still believe it's the same sun. That's a different sun. That's a different moon. How come the moon is twisted way over now? The face used to be up straight. Now the face is twisted. What's going on? Well, Doctor B, the Earth is flat. I don't know whether it's flat, round, square. Maybe the Earth ain't here. Maybe it's just all an idea. But what I'm saying is, even if it is a program, we are in it, and we have to be careful that we now take charge of our piece of the program. Otherwise, they've put ideas in you that were cloned, ideas that all people are choosing something. Like right now, and the woman told me in order to be beautiful, a woman has to wear long lashes. She does? That's beautiful. It wouldn't have been beautiful 10, 15 years ago. They might have been looking at you a little funny. Because you're all, this is things that people are all choosing. This is the artificial intelligence because we think, this is what's beautiful. So now, even with music, right? Is thank you, brothers. Brother, you were really good on the Sirius Vibes television show. That podcast, brother, was really, really good. A lot of people are loving that. That's a Sirius Vibes or Forbidden Knowledge. So there's another powerful one coming this Sunday at 2:22 p.m. on the East Coast. So tap into the Sirius Vibes television show. But what's happening is people are being grouped and looped so that you can all agree that something has value that may have little value. Because people are into this thing of being fake and artificial. The artificial wave, the artificial hi, how are you? You know what I'm saying? The artificial talk at the job. Or you get to the job and all of a sudden you're talking a lot different because you want to be recognized as being very intelligent. But with your homies, what's up, man? How you doing? You see, we get fake because we would like to have, we'd like to be valid. But what's happening is our cellular structure is suffering because we're torn with one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, and we're going through an ascension. Everybody's going through the ascension, but it's tearing molecules apart. Let me say this much. Are you aware that every millisecond, your body and every cell in it disappears and reappears a millisecond later? Are you aware of that? Every millisecond, not every second, every millisecond, The particles that make you up, the atoms, disappear. And they're gone for a brief second, then they reappear.
Like Christmas lights.
Like Christmas lights, they're blinking. Did you know that you can control the rate of the blink? You can control how the atoms return? That's what they call return to forever. You have a choice to control the program because how the atoms are reappearing is based on your thought process, your feelings, your agreements. And if you feel that right now you got to be fake, everything, just look at it, man. Artificial flavors, artificial food. They got artificial chicken. They got artificial meat. They don't lab grown buffalo. I mean, they got it. It's going. It's off the rims right now. Half the food you're not tasting anything. It's a program in there. A lot of the things are flavor enhanced with something they call excitotoxins. Excitotoxins are things that make you think something tastes another way when actually it's a tongue trick.
KT was just talking about that. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Excitotoxins, which actually burn up every cell, right? The cells, every cell that an excitotoxins touch, which are like, the flavor enhancers and the aspartame, all those artificial sweeteners. The minute they touch a part of your nervous system, they burn those nerves up. So if a nerve is supposed to have a 2-month lifespan, if an excitotoxin tastes or touches it, that cell burns out in 2 hours. Damn. Excitotoxins are in a lot of the foods, a lot of your your vegan foods. Do you even the yeast? This
That's what he just said. KT just said the nutritional yeast got excitotoxins in it.
He's talking about this too. We're in alignment on this.
No, he just said that 2 days ago. So y'all in alignment for real.
Oh, this is a deep thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about being cloned. You're being cloned with some of this food you think is vegan food. Oh, this really tastes just like a piece of meat. You have no idea what's happening where we're allowing ourselves, never mind what they're doing, we're allowing ourselves to be programming because what? In 2023, we ain't supposed to be blinking. You're supposed to have learned enough where you're focused and you're clear. You don't need to second guess yourself. To second guess yourself is blasphemy. To think twice is blasphemy. You got to be on it. You got to be ready. You got to be willing. You got to be on it now. You got to feel it. Excuse me. When it hits, you got to be ready to grab it. That's jazz. It's an improvisation. You see, the drummer just hit bap bap. The guitar player goes bam bam. The keyboard player goes da da. The horn player goes da da da. We're all riding each other. You see what I'm saying? It's a free flow. It's jazz. We got to get into that jazzy moment. But to get into that jazzy moment, we got to first have a direction and we got to alter our minds and realize where the temple is, get into a dark space, an idiom. And in that idiom is where we're going to create not where we're at, but where we're going. And where we're going is where we're from. But you got to do it now. Because you're not going to get another chance because things just shifted in such a way where the people who you think are in control are out of control right now. They're trying to figure this thing out. They're resetting the computers and satellites all the time because the Earth's resonance is changing. North Pole ain't the North Star ain't the North Pole no more, and the North Pole ain't the North. It's really changing. We're in a beautiful place where we could change everything. But if you're stuck on the past, and you're living in the past, even the agreeable past, right? You just got to look at it. Oh, that was great. But you've got to create something new right now. New ideas, new ways of marketing, new ways of thinking, new ways of loving, new ways of creating love out of whatever you have by realizing that I've got to get into the black flame. The black flame, the mother flame, where it all comes from. You got to get back to mama. You got to get back to big mama.
I like that, the mother flame.
And it connects directly. When you're looking at this flame, it connects directly to your solar plexus, which is the largest bundle of nerves in your body, which is lit up like the sun. And remember, I told you the sun is black. And what you're seeing is the aurora or the aura of it, the corona of it, I got to be careful with that word. You can't even say that because, you might get in trouble. I'm talking about the sun now, the corona of the sun, Mr. Government. So, but that has to do with the solar plexus. So what we're going to do in God Power is we're going to help you and allow you and show you how to tap into the solar plexus energy within yourself to reset your mental, to reset your mind, to reset your dimension, to reset everything and let go of what you thought you learned and what you thought you knew. And get out of being so intelligent and begin to use intuitive intelligence, which is different because intuitive intelligence never happened before. But if something comes to you and you get a gut feeling and you say, oh man, I got to think, what was that? What was that? I got to think about it. You know what you felt. Mm-hmm. That's called blinking. The gut told you to leave now, or the gut told you to push the button, or the gut told you to say such and such. And you say, oh, I should have said it. I should have, man, why didn't I say it? I knew what was going to happen because usually that gut is talking to you and is giving you information in the moment that can move you towards all kinds of things magically if you would trust your gut. But most people's guts are full of what? Excitotoxins. They're full of what they call lectins, which is a lot of vegans have a lot of lectins in their gut. That's a whole other thing. People have these artificial flavors and these food enhancers and all these things in their gut, so the gut bacteria is not vibrating at the level that it could. But there's a couple things that you could do to reignite the gut bacteria, which is your universe, which is connected to the everything, the all, the omniverse. Never mind the universe. We got to get to the omniverse. There's many universes. So the blueprint for God Power is a class. It's a thing that teaches you how to tap into the ascension that's happening in you anyway. Don't think that only certain people are going to be ascending. Everybody's ascending. See, the words get funny. We're all of our energy is changing. Everybody. Some people is disagreeable, is super disagreeable. Some people is positive, they super positive. Some people talk, they really talk. Some people quiet, they're really quiet. It's all happening. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is to learn to be a director, to be the one who is focused on a goal very clearly. So there's these exercises and these techniques, which is the personal kinesiology, learning to create a mind alter, learning to use your eyes and adjust your eyes to get to your desire to the point where you don't blink about it. Because if you blink about it, that means I'm changing the channel and I need to think about it. I'm not sure what I desire. I got to call my friends. How many times have you had to call other people to tell them what you're into and what you're doing? Let me tell you what I learned on Brother Richard's show. Let me tell you what I learned on Now, I was thinking about doing. If you do it, I'll do it. See? You've got to go out on your own. You've got to be ready to walk the road alone. You're walking the road with the wise man, the wise woman, which is the one inside you that is actually leading you and guiding you. But if you got one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake, you can't go because you're afraid to go into the darkness. The altar, the blackness, the black God inside you, altar. Woo, it gets deep.
Man,
okay.
Man, you said don't blink when it comes to your desires, bro. It just that conversation we had on the phone and you was talking, I was like, Doc, man, where you get this info from? And what you was explaining to me, man, I'm super stoked for this workshop. I'm always looking to be better when it comes. I'm big on meditation. Not sitting. Sometimes I do music, I do candles a lot, different forms of meditation. But I'm definitely looking forward to adding new methods and getting deeper into this meditation thing. And I know Billy's offering something as well with the meeting your doppelganger and shit. Like y'all on some next level. Y'all on some next level stuff, man. So Doc, man, I'm super excited. I can't wait. Family is going down October 29th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. For those of you who came in late, we also are providing a lot of bonus content. Where's the occasion? This is a workshop. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. It's not on YouTube. You have to pay for it. This is a workshop that Billy and Doctah B and myself put together. We are having the link. Once again, is at the top of the chat. You click on the link, you go to Eventbrite, you pay for it, and you will have your ticket automatically. You'll get directions on how to join. For those of you who already bought tickets or are curious, this is lifetime access. You could go back and view this for your lifetime whenever you want. Pass it down to your children. The 7 sacred prayers are also lifetime access. You'll get not only a link, but you'll get the download as well, so you can keep it on your hard drive or your computer. At this time, I want to take a couple of questions before Doctah B gets out of here. So if you have any questions about what he's talking about the workshops, put your questions in the chat. But we're gearing up, we're getting ready. It's still super it's not super early, but we got enough time, family, to really digest these sacred prayers. And I know everybody who bought tickets so far, y'all been listening to them every day. I want y'all to listen to them every day, and I want to be a part of your routine, because I want to talk to y'all on the 29th and see how it has changed your life after listening to it for several months. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. But give me some questions while we wait on these questions, Doctah B. Anything else you want to add to the people, say to the people before we continue?
I'd like to say that we're in an amazing place. It is a challenge for a lot of us because of the way we see things. And it is these things that we're going through are not easy for some of us, but it's simple. It's simple when you learn the step-by-step techniques to walk you to the place that you desire to go. Some folks, when you ask them what they desire, they don't even know. Mm. Some folks, you got to walk them through and help them create the desires, because the programming and the cloning and the downloading that we've received from the past is so strong. But breaking that bond, breaking those seals, it's simple when you learn the techniques.
Right.
You see, and that's what we do at Elevation Time. You know, we're teaching people, you know, through nutrition and those things, how to break these bonds. So with Blueprint for GodPower, you know, it's really interesting how we've teamed up, because the work that you're doing on, you know, you're changing people's lives all over the planet by your broadcast. You see? Billy is doing the same thing, but he is giving you some old sacred information, but he's also giving you this business information that it might take you a lifetime, or you may never learn it. I learned some things from GodPower 1 that I never knew about business, and he's going to be giving some more of that in this one, right? But some of these business opportunities, it's going to be a challenge to step into until you learn these basic steps that I'll be teaching earlier in the day. Then we come together, because it's you know, we're working together, right? This is 3 people working together, converging to create a pyramid of energy that it's like something that's being planted in the darkness, but if you're ready to grab it, it's there for you, and it could never happen before. What's happening now could never happen before. You see what I'm saying?
Indeed.
I got to take my herbs, because
yeah, take your time, my brother. So let me just answer this question. Somebody asked, Blueprint 2 is already pre-recorded. No, it is not. They will be live on October 29th. The only thing that's pre-recorded is the 7 sacred prayers. That's bonus content. That's why it's pre-recorded as bonus content. It's something that has never been done before, and it's a unique. Once you see it, I mean, it's completely life-changing. It's emotional. It's intuitive. It's something that you have never. Like, I really dig deep into my soul with this one, family. And like I said, this is the best thing I have ever put together in my entire life. I'm 1,000% proud of this project, because I really dig deep into the ethers and the cosmos and the quantum field to come up with these ideas. But yeah, to answer your question, Blueprint is not pre-recorded. They will be live October 29th. The only thing that's pre-recorded is the bonus content that you can enjoy in the meantime. Everybody who bought their ticket today, I see some people bought tickets during the show. You will get the 7 sacred prayers within 24 hours. So be patient with that. With the 24 hours, that will be emailed to whatever email that you use to buy the ticket with on Eventbrite. And let's get to the next question. This one is a little off topic, but it's still important. Somebody wants to know, what happens to fetuses after a miscarriage?
First of all, there's only life. There is only life. Everything is energy. Some things come into this physical realm for a brief minute and they move to the next realm. And they were here for a certain time. You see, it's like saying, well, what happens to our fingernails? What happens to life? Life is life. Everything happens. It's all living. If you take your fingernails or your hair and put it in the earth, do you know that it's reborn as living through the mycelium network? You see, and you know, it's emotional. It's unfortunate, some of the things that we go through that, you know, are hardships for us. But the bottom line is everything is living. Everything is alive. There is no life and death. It just isness. You see what I'm saying? So, that's a deep subject to even talk about, because it's almost unperceivable to people to think that we have always been here as energetic light forms, and that we're just using these bodies, these avatars. It's like the television set. You see, I remember the other day they cut my Netflix off because, you know, I guess we was using too many Netflixes. They shut it down. Now Netflix wasn't off, but on my TV I couldn't get Netflix. I wanted to see they cloned Tyrone. I can't see it because they cut me off. And they put it out right at the right time. See, they put out Clone Tyrone, and they shut down everybody's internet that was sharing. Guess what? I went and got me a new account, gave them my money, so I could see, you know, they cloned Tyrone, but they cloned everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole thing. But what the point is that our bodies are like the television set. If you cut the cable off, the signal is still coming. And it's always coming, and we're all energetically living. And every cell within us is a life form. We're a universe. We're not single beings. And that's why we should start saying we more often, because we are universes.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to the next question. Somebody asked about the time difference in Honduras. You have to figure that out on your own. I'm not sure. I could Google it. Google will have the answer. So I would say go to Google to figure out the time difference. If you bought tickets, and you can do that within 60 seconds, and Google will be able to tell you. So I would just say, yeah, go to Google, but I don't know off the top of my head. Let's get to the next question. Dr. B, will the blueprint be able to help me overcome fears?
Yes. That's one of the main things, because what's happening is a lot of us are in the past. You know, a lot of folks, one of the fears that slips under the rug or under the door is the fear of missing out. We don't talk about that one.
FOMO.
The fear of missing out. See, they use it in commercial ads all the time. Mm-hmm. They use it in commercials all the time. You got to buy this because everybody's buying it. Look at the people on the screen, how happy they are. Look at this guy who's not a doctor, but who acts like he's a doctor. Even your doctor says so. So the fear of missing out is deep, but there's many levels of fear. What are you afraid of? A lot of times you're afraid to push past your limitation. A lot of times you're afraid of what your parents will think, even if your parents aren't even here, or what the authority figures in your life have thought, or what they believe to be success. I just went through this myself. I just realized in the last 3 weeks that something that happened that my father said when I was 12 years old affected me 3 weeks ago when I was in New York to do the prayers. And it took me out. Brother Rich, when I saw you, I started sweating. I almost had 104 degrees. Well, it was 105 at one point. I think I was so hot because I know when it hits that level because I start drifting out of my mind. I started having illusions. Is that a word? So I because I was breaking out of a lack and limitation idea I had of myself in the fear of winning this award. I mean, I've never accepted any awards. Let me just say this. I've always done what I've done to help the world, to help people, to help the artist I'm working with, or, you know, whoever I'm dealing with in relations. I'm always there to help everyone, to help the family. So I have this thing of you know, it's something we get into where you need to give it all up for other people. So when it comes up that I have been nominated in the health and wellness category for possibly being number one What? This hit me on a physical level. It hit my diaphragm. I had hiccups. I've had hiccups off and on now. I had them for a week straight. Hiccups. Couldn't get rid of them. Did all the hiccup tricks. Nothing would work. Because my diaphragm, which has to do with breathing, which has to do with moving lymphatic tissue or lymphatic fluid, the 7 oceans through my body, was inflamed because part of me was living in the past based on my father's idea of success, which was to get papers and, certificates. And my father told me, you'll never be nothing by doing what you're doing. That was his idea of success that was stuck in me. It was a fear that I didn't know I had. So I was living with, until last week, Brother Rich, I was living with winner's remorse. Sometimes your fear is winner's remorse. Your fear of what other people are going to think if you do win, or how you're going to look, or whether they're going to come to you for money, or whether you're going to, people are going to say, well, you think you all that now. And you know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot comes with standing out of the crowd and being your true self and winning. So the fear that a lot of us have, we have to break the spells on them. And that's what these techniques are going to do. It's going to help you break free from a lot of these fears, because a lot of these fears are false evidence appearing real. Actually, they're the anticipation of pain or loss. So if you stay in fear too long, you become inferior. Then you end up with an inferiority complex. And some of the most powerful, loud talking people, did you know, actually have this issue? You don't think they have it because, he's a great speaker and he's read so many books. He's written 20 books and he's got a television show. He's got this, he's got that. That's like a brand. Today it's like, even in music, it's all about the brand. It's not even really about the real artist. It's about the brand. It ain't about whether they can really sing or what. It's about the brand. We got to get back to the art of living the life we came to live. And to do that, we have to not overcome fear. You're never going to overcome fear. That's the wrong language. The language we have to use is that I'm going to move towards a new desire, no matter what. I'm moving towards desires, because as you do that, the whole fear thing comes online big time. The minute you begin to step out of your comfort zone, your saboteur, which is a part of your subconscious that's there to protect you, says no. That's what the whole movie Inception is about. The deeper levels they go, there's more and more military that comes out to fight them. They're actually going down into this man's subconscious to put a new root idea in that little box. The movie Inception is deep. Those levels that they're going to, where there's more and more military coming, is the person's subconscious. Your own subconscious has military, has guardians at the gate and at the vault of every idea and emotion that you have had. See, that's what the subconscious alignment work, and we're going to teach some of those techniques in GodPower too. Once you learn how to once you get your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, synced up in an alignment on the same rhythm or the same idea or the same goal, is deep. I personally, because I teach it, but just because you teach it, don't have your ego. I got this. I teach this. I had to go through it my own self just 3 weeks ago, because a part of me does not want to accept that I could win. And as my chiropractor told me the other day, he says, what do you mean you could win? You've already won. He says, do you know the word when you say a person is nominated? Nominated means you won. I was like, no, I thought only one person could win. No. In each category, there's 3 people. They're all nominated, which means one. He says, if you go and get you a publicist right now, Dr. B, the publicist knows how to take that information, and you could just, they'd have you everywhere. You'd be doing interviews everywhere. Because you're nominated in a category from people all over the world have chosen. Brother Rich has been nominated in a category. He's won. We are winners. We won when those millions of sperm were being attracted to that egg. The egg chose one particular winner sperm. We're winners. We started off at winners, but the fear The fear of so many different things. It stops us. But I'm going to tell you what burns it up, brother. You know what fries the fear?
What?
The black flame.
Uh-oh, you went there? Look at them eyes. The eyes popped out, y'all. Uh-oh.
That black flame will burn all that stuff down. So you trying to be enlightened with the light flame. We got to be darkened with the black flame. You were enlightenment. Oh, I'm enlightened, and I use my candles, and I use my incense bowl, and I say the prayer, and I say yam yo yango guango, whatever it is. You still may not have tapped into the deepest part. All those things that you've been doing is good. The yoga, the meditation, the reading. You know what I'm saying? But there is another level when you learn about how to take it in the black flame, create an idiom, and don't blink. And there's a breathing thing that goes with it too. And how to get a yes or no. How to get a definite yes or no from the omniverse, from the universe, from your true self.
That's deep. What's that? What's it called? Kinesiology? What is it called again?
It's called psychological kinesiology. But we're going to teach a piece of it, personal kinesiology. Because psychological kinesiology is a whole thing. That's a whole, that's a serious course. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to teach that. What we're going to do is teach people a piece of how to get a yes or no. About any one thing, whether they're aligned, whether it's aligned with them. Because see, if you are not aligned with your imagination, you can't get there. If you you have to be aligned. You've got to create the same vibrational force coming from your heart, not your mind. Your heart has to be at the same vibrational rate of the thing you desire. When your heart is vibrating at the same frequency, at the same rhythm, at the same beats per minute, when that is toned and tuned, when you are in the place, in the space of the heart, and your heart is the matter, and you know it by heart, you feel it by heart, guess what? You bypass everything.
Facts. Even the laws of physics.
You bypass it all.
Even the laws of physics. God damn. I like that.
You see? But you got to be ready to break into it.
Yeah.
You got to be like the thief. Because you got to realize that you're the judge. You're the jury. Right? You're the jailer. You're the victim. You understand this? You're the perpetrator. You understand? You're everybody at the jailhouse. You're the who's the head cat of the jail? You're the warden. You're the person with the key. We've put ourselves in these prisons. We want to blame it on somebody. That's the next thing. We want to blame everybody. I didn't do it, man. That was done by such and such, and they hated me. And I was blah blah blah. And the government did this to me. See, as long as you keep using that, then that's your excuse to stay small. You see, a lot of people want to get big, but small still got them. A lot of people want to get conscious, but the subconscious still got them. Some people want to get wealthy, but poor still got them. Some people want to move forward, but backwards still got them. You see what I'm saying? Some people want to ascend, but they dead waiting on dirt, talking about their conscious and woke. There is a place in all of us in the heart that's awaiting for us to steal the key. The key is there. We all have the key. Once you learn how to quietly go down the steps, you got to do it quietly. There's a special technique. That's why we say you got to learn how to not blink. You know, when you're in the dark, you ever been in a really dark room? Ain't no lights on. You ain't got no flashlight. You can't find your phone. You get in a dark room, your eyes open up real wide, don't they?
Yeah.
And guess what? The pupils open up, right? And you don't blink. You don't blink when you're in a totally black room trying to find your way. Your eyes automatically don't blink because the subconscious says, we better not blink up in here because we'll hit our toe, we'll fall down the steps. Open your eyes wide. Your eyes is wide open. Damn. Not wide shut, wide open. Why? Because you're in a dark space. Damn. And you need all your senses online. Your hearing comes online. Your feeling, your hairs stand up on your skin. I'm in a new place. I got to figure out where I am. I've never been here before.
Damn, man.
Your pupils open up.
Yeah.
Now you start blinking in the dark, you're gonna hit something. You're gonna hit your head on the corner of that cabinet because you didn't close the cabinet. And let me tell you something, if you've ever done that, left a cabinet open and hit your head on the corner, that corner hit your head, that's some of the worst pain there is.
Yeah, that corner. Yeah, that
You know about that corner, right?
corner
You know,
cabinet pain.
you see what I'm saying? So your body, when it's in automatic mode, when the autonomic body comes online because of an emergency, you don't blink. You're feeling it all. You're feeling everything. I better run this way. How do you even know which way to run sometimes? When something's happening, your body automatically knows which way to run. It takes over. The subconscious says, we got to survive. You're running faster than deer, jumping over 12-foot fences. Look at this. You're in the bed. And you got one of these flus. You're sick. You're hot. You're sweating. You can't do nothing. You're going number 1, number 2, and number 3, and number 4 all at the same time. You have no energy. And all of a sudden, the fire alarm goes off. All of a sudden, you jump straight out the bed like a cat. You grab all of your belongings, anything that's important. You find your wallet and that gold ring that you've been carrying forever that you think is going to be worth something. You went and found it in the jewelry box. Got your money bag. Got your credit cards, your phone. And you run outside. You can run down 3-4 flights of steps. You get to the street. The fire engines come. You fall out on the curb. I thought you was in the bed a few minutes ago and you were inoperable. You could not move. Because there are states that you can put yourself into where the subconscious takes over and the survival instinct kicks in. Imagine you can turn that on at will. This is what happens in jazz when we're doing music, when we're in this place of improvisation. We have never been there before. Our senses all come online. And when your senses come online, you start making sense out of the thing that's within you that's about living and surviving and getting to the next place, which is improvisation. You can improv, right, and create a life force energy, what they call pranic energy, which is the vital forces. We can create that at will. But you need to know where your eyes need to be looking. Once you begin to take control of these techniques, and like I say, most of this you're never going to get anywhere else. So in GodPower 2, we're going to let the floodgates open. Billy and I were talking, and we're synced up. Billy and I, sometimes we don't even talk. We just look at each other. It's this connection that we have. There's this respect. So what we're going to do through synergy, we're going to create a space that you can't get out of. After GodPower 2, if you choose to invest in GodPower 2, your life will change forever. A lot of people that took GodPower 1, they already know. Somebody was asking earlier, how can I get GodPower 1? Well, if you'd like, you can go to elevationtime.com, go to events. It's still there. I think you got it up on you still have it on your site too? Yeah. You can still get GodPower 1 in, one of 3 places. I think Forbidden Knowledge has it up too. But my point is that when you take this information in, if you just listen to it and play it over and over, it takes over. I got the hiccups again. See that? Because I'm going to another level. Indeed. It takes over. It's like automatic. So it's going to be hard to fail. Right. It's going to be hard to be fearful of the true lover in you.
Indeed. I'm going to let you take that water break real quick. Let me just answer this question real quick. Brother Rich, can I purchase the 7 sacred prayers? For those who came in late, no, that is exclusive to the blueprint for GodPower 2. It was a direct inspiration from the GodPower 2. I'm instructed to not sell that separately. It will never be a separate type of product. It is strictly bonus content for those who were willing to invest in blueprint for GodPower 2. For those who came in late, Billy and Doctah B will be live October 29th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. They'll be talking about a various amount of topics. Let me just read you some of the things. Doctah B will be talking about developing a whole brain state, neuro-linguistic programming, how to create mind alters, how to use your eyes as spiritual technology, science of the reticular activated system, how to shapeshift matter, basic personal kinesiology. Billy Carson will teach guided multiverse meditation, how to access the multiverse and use the doppelganger technique to quantum jump into your desired self. God damn, I can't wait to do a show with him and talk to him about that. He's also showing a CIA technique, the Gateway program that they it's really all stuff, but they use it with their programs. It's called Hemi Sync. A.A. Rashid was just talking about it, and it shows you how to create a focused beam of thought. He's going to show you the SUPERMIND Learning, how to speed read, how to basically be your own chat GPT and not be a slave to the computer. He will also teach you how to rewrite epigenetic code to program your quote-unquote junk DNA. Also, how to read energy fields when you're in any room, any environment. Oh, man, this is awesome. I'm excited. I can't wait. We're going to do about 2 more questions, and then we're going to get out of here. You know, before we do 2 more questions, let me just show y'all, for those of y'all who came in late, I know you'll hear me talking about bonus content for the workshop. For those who buy the ticket to the workshop, that you'll get 24 hours after purchasing the workshop. Let me just show you
all the time.
I want to show you a little piece of Billy's part, because Billy had everybody
and become the observer of my thoughts.
Hold up. Yeah, this is powerful.
And feeling like I can't go any further. Remind me who I am. Send me a message from the ancestors. Let me hear them. Let me hear them in my body. Let them speak through every atom. Let me breathe wisdom, understanding, and knowledge at all times. As the world seems like it's going astray, give me the power to be a guiding light, to be a lighthouse in the dark.
Man, oh man. Wow. Whew. For all of y'all who've seen it, let me know in the chat. For those who've seen it so far, let me know in the chat what you think about how it has affected you so far. And while we get to the next question, let me know in the chat. Let's see. Let me get to another question. I'm moved every time I see that one right there. Let me see what questions you got. Is it a way to know if we're on the correct path, Dr. B?
Well, see, this is what the personal kinesiology, it teaches you how to get a yes or no about any question. You know, one thing we have to remember is when we ask questions, let's say you go see a reader. You know, a lot of people say, well, they can read the future. The real thing, the reality of it is the future can't be read. And the reason why is because if someone tells you your future, that is based on things staying exactly the same as they are right now. Because the future is now. So when you say, how do we need to be on the right path, first you have to choose what it is you desire based on a set of questions. And you'll learn a basic set of questions to know whether it's a yes or a no. It's actually not a yes or a no. It's an agreeable, or it's whether it's in alignment or it's out of alignment. Out of alignment or within alignment for you at that time. So we're going to also talk about how to choose and how to go through a set of questions so that you can get a yes or no from your subconscious, from the cosmic realm, and from your mind about what you need to be doing, about what's best for you. And that will change, because even though we'll say, well, this is what's best for you, that might be what's best for you for 2 weeks. And after that, it changes and it changes and it changes. Because what I thought was best for me, when I go back 30, 40, 50 years, and I start looking at what I thought was best, it changed so many times. You've got to be flexible. You have no idea what you're choosing right now, whether that's going to be it forever. That's why this thing about forever and ever and ever is not correct because things are changing constantly. If the sun is not the same sun, it's a different sun, it's in a different place. If every blade of grass is changed, every snowflake is different, nothing is going to stay the same, but we do need to choose something that we're moving towards. What would you like to truly move towards? What is your prayer? What are you asking? We're also going to talk about how to create a prayer that creates gratefulness in advance, how to be grateful in advance. I'm thankful for the new car, the new house, the new relationship. I'm thankful for the wealth. I'm thankful for the knowledge and the love. You can create that by being thankful right now and grateful right now for what is to come. That's not how we learn how to pray, is it?
Nah.
We're asking for stuff.
Yeah.
But if you know how to do the convergence, there is somebody or something that you're asking that's different than you asking God, because you don't know who God is. Most people have no idea who God is. They think they know. I know who God is. God is you. Until you're able to say that and know that God is everything, so you must be God. You're not the whole God. You're one particle, one ray of light of the godness. But until you choose that, then what you're asking for, you don't have. You see? And what's really interesting, and I'll let Billy talk about it if he's going to talk about it. What he was saying in his prayer manifested in hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
In hours. That's his personal. I'm just trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Billy, Carson, and I, when we met in New York outside of the studio where we shot the prayers, we both were going through something deep. Billy got out of the car and he spun around in the car. He's like, oh man, this is crazy. And he started telling me what he had gone through. I was sitting there and I couldn't talk. I was sweating and I was like, Billy, he says, Doctah B, are you okay? I says, I don't know. I feel like I was drifting. I was having ascension symptoms. It was a shift happening because the GodPower 2 is such a big thing. This is worldwide. There's so many people watching us right now. This award ceremony that's coming up this weekend is huge. There's people all over the world watching right now because this is showing our excellence. We be showing our stuff, a lot of times we at the awards, people got their butts out and the people is naked and hip hopping and hooping. You know what I'm saying? It's ratchety. No, this is high level. The theater that it's in looks like a spaceship. I think it is a spaceship. So we're taking this to other levels. And when we start doing that, we don't have to do this cheap no more. We got to do this. If you like wealth, you got to act wealthy. You got to live wealthy. You might need to go fly first class just one time or go rent a Rolls Royce for maybe 15, 20 minutes or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Or ride with somebody or go to the place and create the feeling of what you desire. You see? But when you do it, you're going to go through these symptoms. Sometimes it's pain. Sometimes people think you're crazy. You've lost your mind. You're forgetful. Sometimes you're standing in a room and you don't know how you even got there, why you got there. You've passed out. I passed out last week. I passed out because I'm moving to a level. I'm being forced to move and allowing myself to move to a level I've never gone before and to do some things. I was at, I'm going to just say this real quick. I was over there getting a suit the other day. You have no idea how deep this is, Brother Rich, for Doctah B to be getting measured for a suit. Do you know how long I've been against this suit thing? I don't wear suits. I don't wear ties. Do you understand what I'm saying? I got one suit that I might wear to a funeral and I don't go to too many of those.
Right.
I was being measured, custom. They was checking my arm. One elbow, they said, was bigger than the other one. You know what I'm saying? They're measuring it for me. And I'm saying this is really happening. We're taking this to another level. 2 GodPower events in a year. Do you know how big this is? Do you know the first one was the largest event of its kind ever done? The biggest undertaking ever done where we gave that much compact information in a small space. And if you thought that was something, The next one is gone. It's out of here. Just the information, because we're telling you little things. It sounds like little bites, but these are like books that are unfolding that are going to help everybody with ascension. So as we move into 2024, we will no longer say we didn't have the tools. We can no longer say it was their fault. They did it. The government did it. We are now taking control. Are you ready and willing to take control of your life right now? If you say yes, then we move ahead. Let's go. Let's move in teams. Let's move in units. We got to come back together. Never mind it's solo. It's me. It's we. We doing a we thing. It's all of us coming together as a family. We're creating the temple. We are the temple. We're at the highest level right now. We are doing something that's never been done, and we would like everybody to come along with us. We don't want to leave anybody out. Are you ready to step into your next self? Are you ready to help others do the same? Are you ready to be a better mother, a better father, a brother, a sister, uncle, aunt, lover? Are you ready to just be your better self, your higher self? Because a lot of these techniques we've been talking about being higher and higher, we ain't no higher. We just got higher talk. We just got higher talk. It sounds better, but we haven't moved. Not all of us. Some of us have. But the average person still can't move because they're bonded to what was programmed into them. We're breaking these spells. Like I said earlier, it's the best time to break the spell because all the people that you think is controlling the world is out fighting and arguing. They're in disarray because the stars have moved. The planet has shifted. They're trying to get you caught up in the politics. You got to get into the politics and vote for yourself. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to break free from the drugs and the alcohol? And like, you was talking earlier, Brother Rich, this weed that people are smoking, unless you're getting organic from the garden, grown in the sun, you're not getting cannabis sativa or cannabis indica. You're not getting that. It's a drug. That's why it's legal. Why you think they made it legal? To get you to take this drug, which is now, 50%, 80% THC? That's not natural. It's supposed to be, 22, 23, 24?
Right.
Why? Because they're getting you to, cancel out your GodPower.
Yes, sir.
They putting something in the alcohol. You went and bought it. Don't talk about what they put in it. They putting something in the food and everything. Even in the vegan food, you got to be very careful. But what we're saying is there's a way to rewrite the program. There's a way to get into the divinity code within you. That God power is in your divinity code, which is in every cell. And it's up to each one of us to tap into that now. We can't wait no longer for a savior, somebody to come and get us, waiting for a prophet. You are the prophet. But in order to do this, you got to mind your business. And business your mind. You got to detoxify your body. You got to get rid of those parasites. That's right. Going over the elevation time right now because we got a new program for you so you can get cleaned up and ready so that you can receive this information. We're not talking about regular parasites. We're talking about the systemic parasites that are controlling part of your mind and keep you in lack and limitation. So detoxify your mind. Begin to ready yourself for this new information because God Power 2, it's already been launched. It's already happening, and it will be live, and you will be there. The real you will be there. Even though the real you might not be there at first, but by the end of the day, the real you will stand up, and you'll be able to break out of the prison imposed on yourself.
Hey, Doctah B, we're gonna wrap it up. An amazing 2 hours of just. Whoa, but Doctah B started out in the dark. I don't know if y'all was here from the beginning of the show. He started out in the dark, and the brother's just been on it all night long. I want to thank you for coming on here, joining us once again on Black Magic 363. Congratulations on your new show on Forbidden Knowledge podcast, as well as the Forbidden Knowledge TV. I was on the first episode. It was an amazing episode. Go over to Billy Carson's channel. Y'all can see it on YouTube. But anything you want to leave the people with before we get out of here, man? You got me hyped and excited about God Power 2. Count it down.
The show is on Forbidden Knowledge TV, also on the Forbidden Knowledge YouTube channel. It's Sirius Vibes, hosted by Doctah B. It's about music and vibration and frequency. And Brother Rich, man, you know the words that you spoke and the heart energy that you came with, the calls that are coming in, the people are talking about how this was a needed thing, how the music is important, which is also important. Why we're going to do, this sound bath. And we're also going to give out this music that we're creating right now that helps the people in their ascension path. No matter what level you're on, you can still go higher. Some people need to drop their energy down, but it's about, tonifying. So you're going to get that in the package. And this weekend, this award ceremony, if you're not going to be there physically, then you go to Forbidden Knowledge TV and you sign up so that you can see this thing where folks are coming together from all over the world, thought leaders from everywhere coming together for the first time to share love, to share in communion, and to give each other, the support that we need as a community. And we're moving from community to commune. A commune is a community is split up and broken. A commune is a group of people that are working together in oneness. So, yes, thank you very much, Brother Rich. And, for those of you who are looking to cleanse and detoxify, go to elevationtime.com. We have a special brand new elevated total body program and a lot of other things over there for those of you who are ready to get rid of your mental, physical, and spiritual parasites so that you can open up. And that's at elevationtime.com. We got to clean up on all levels. But GodPower 2, I'm really excited about this one. I'm pumped up. And like I said, I'm going to share some very sacred information that I was never able to share before because I was told there was a certain time period before I could give this information to the people. It just happens that this lines up with 2023. So what I will be sharing will be information that has never been shared before. Can't be Googled. Can't be TikToked. It's going to be right here, TikToked. It's going to be live. So I want to thank you, Brother Rich, for the wonderful work that you're doing, the amazing work. It's congratulations, man, on all your success. You're hitting it big. And I'd like to congratulate all of you who are out there listening right now in the audience. Congratulate yourself. Celebrate wherever you are. Celebrate, vibrate yourselves and clap because it could be worse. But if you're online right now, if you're hearing this, you're feeling this, and you're seeing this, you've already got the reward. All you got to do now is step up on the stage. The stage is a table. The stage is an altar. That is your temple to step up into the glands in your head and take charge, take full charge of everything that's been waiting on you. Everything. That table has been prepared for you. The love is there for you. The money, whatever you desire, the peace, the harmony is there for you. But you've got to take responsibility. No longer wait for change to happen. Because the longer you wait for change to happen, what happens, right, is the weight makes you grow more weight. You get heavier, you get thicker. The average person is so heavy that they're dead waiting on dirt. They're laying 6 feet down in a hole. They're not dead, but they think they're dead because they feel like the government did it. This person did it. The big head aliens are doing it. My grandfather and my own self is haunting me. Guess what? That's all an illusion.
Hold on. Dr. B, we trying to get out of here. Did you just go there? Did you just said waiting makes you gain energetic weight?
Yes. The more you wait, you think your subconscious knows the difference between the word weight meaning pounds and weight meaning not moving forward. Your subconscious don't know those simple words because it's a simple machine. It takes the same symbol and the same energy and stamps the word weight with the word weight. Are you waiting or are you waiting? Let's wait. You waiting? How's your weight? It's like people that want to lose weight. You don't ever say you want to lose weight because when you say I want to lose weight, your subconscious says, "Oh, we lost something," and it starts looking for it. That's why when you lose weight, you end up gaining more weight than you ever had because you lost something. So there's a language. Oh, that's the other thing, Rich. We didn't say that. There's a part of what we're going to cover in GodPower that has to do with the language of empowerment, the language of the gods. How to speak a very simple word syntax. It's called the language syntax that goes past beyond fear, goes out into the field of opportunities, right? It goes into the cosmic realm. It's a way of wave casting what you desire based on a simple language syntax. We take that into an idiom. We take that into the black flame meditation, put it on the altar, and we launch that sucker. Once you do this, it don't matter if you are afraid, you're scared, you got an illness, you got this, one leg's longer than the other. We got all these issues. You'll get to this point where you won't have to wear makeup, cake up, lashes. You won't have to put on all these outfits. You won't need the crystals. Why? You will become the living crystal. Huh? You don't need to be the yoga master because the yoga master already lives within you. You won't need to have a title anymore because you're entitled to be yourself, and yourself is higher than any title words that you could possibly have. But you got to learn the language of empowerment. You got to learn how to step and walk and move into a place by what? Releasing what you no longer desire and stop waiting to exhale, waiting to exhale, waiting to excel, waiting to exhale. Let go. Are you ready, willing, and able? Let's do it now. You don't have no more time. Don't blink. Do not blink. On this one, keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes wide open. When they say GodPower, you need to go sign up now. Don't blink. Don't get to asking other people, well, you know, Jimmy, what you gonna do? If you do it, I'm telling you, this is for you. Don't blink. Don't stutter. Don't stammer in your mind energetically. It's time to rise. It's time to rise. Woo, this is beautiful. You know, we started out, my lights was out. I didn't know what I was going to do 10 minutes before. I said, I got to call Brother Rich and cancel. I was going to go to my car. I'm trying to figure out how can I do this. Maybe my phone, I can have a candle light in the car. How am I going to do the show with no electricity? Then something said, wait, you got a laptop. You bought that expensive laptop. You ain't even took it out of the box. So I broke out the thing. I'm on here. Boom. And I said, oh, we got a battery. How much power does the battery have? And then when the battery started dying on the computer,
yeah, the lights came on.
The lights came on. So we started out in total darkness, and we were talking about darkness. You know, we are in the darkness. We're in dark matter, the dark feminine matter, in the altar. You know, there's, you know, and let me say this last. You know, I take this product, you know, platinum, right? And in platinum, it has this stuff called mumia. Mumia is a dark tar substance, right? A humic acid pitch that comes from the Altars region of Russia. I asked the Russian people, why do you call this stuff mumia? Because that sounds black. That don't sound Russian.
Right.
And the guy told me, well, it is mumia means the medicine of the Moors. I said, what are you talking about? The Moors would go to Russia, to this one area called the Altars region, where it's all these high mountains. The mountains are all colored with red clover. They're covered with red clover. The red clover, check this out. This is relevant. The red clover grows and dies. When the red clover dies, the dead ones become fertilizer. When the fertilizer gets deep and deep and deep, it turns into humus, which turns into humic acid, which drips down into the caves, in the Altars caves, and this black substance drips down the stalactites. The stalactites are dripping humic acid, which is a thick, viscous substance, is blue-black. The Moors would come to Russia to get the substance. The question was, the Russians wanted to know, how did the Moors know that this substance was there? Guess what the Moors told them?
What?
Because we were here before you. We were the original Europeans.
Right.
The original Asians, the Eurasians. We was the original everything. We ain't from only Africa. We from, the whole thing was Africa. Al-Kibulan.
Right.
So, real quick, when you begin to realize that you're everything, and your black substance within you on your altar, that's why the platinum and all the products that we now are dealing with have to do with crystallization of yourself. But there's a mental part. And when you add to it the crystallization of your ideas. Now you tapped into God power. God power is about tapping into the crystallized you, the black substance within all of us.
Hey, Dr. B, man, listen, that was powerful way to end it. Once again, thank you. I will see you this weekend in Florida at the awards, my brother. We're gonna have a good time down there, family. Billy will show, go to his channel, Billy's channel. He's gonna show the red carpet for free on his channel. And he's gonna have some footage that you can see for free on his channel. So you go to Forbidden Knowledge YouTube channel to see exactly what's going on at the awards. But we're all gonna be in Florida this weekend celebrating the awards, enjoying ourselves. Shout out to everybody else that's nominated, everybody else that's down there. Dr. B, 19 Keys, Billy Carson, Cam Bada, everybody who's going to be down there. I see all y'all down there. Dr. B, I'll talk to you soon. Once again, thank you, my brother. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in tonight, and I will see y'all tomorrow. All right? Peace.
Travel light.
Yes, yes.